Hi, this video lecture we are going to see how to define DTD using XML. Okay, this is A. Tamizharasi, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, RMD Engineering College. So DTD means document type definition. So this DTD helps you to define the structure and legal elements and the attributes of an XML document. So whenever you wanted to define the structure, then either we can use DTD or we can use XML schema. So next video lecture, we will see about XML schema. So this lecture is about how to define a DTD. So when it comes to DTD, it can be declared either inside the external document that we say it as internal DTD, or what we can do is we can write it as a separate external file and we can link it with the XML document. That is what we say it as external DTD. So there are two types, either internal DTD or external DTD. So both we will be discussing the syntax for defining. So first let us start with internal DTD. So as I told you, this DTD is going to be declared inside the XML file itself. Okay. So for defining the internal DTD, we will be using the tag doc type, document type. Okay. So let me give one example. Look at the example here. This one is normal XML version, whatever version we have to specify. And this is the DTD part, doc type, and I have taken an element called note. You all are aware of this. In HTML, we have predefined tags, whereas in XML, it is like user-defined tags. There is no predefined tags. According to the application, we can choose our own tag names. So here I have taken a tag called note. Okay. So that is the root element. So I have mentioned it as the root element. So look at the example here. So I'm creating a DTD, internal DTD. So whenever I say internal DTD, I'm going to write it inside the XML document itself. So in the XML document, I have first declared the DTD called note. So note is the root element. So this root element has four child elements. That is, first child element is to, from, then heading and body. So these are the four sub elements you have. So whenever you wanted to define the root element and sub element, this is the syntax: exclamatory mark, element, then element name, and what type of data. So either you can use the type of data, or you can mention as any, or you can mention sub elements if it has sub elements. So in this case, note is the element which has four sub elements, whereas to, from, heading and body are the sub elements. All the four elements are going to read a parsed character data. PC data means parsed character data. So if you're not aware of the data type, you can mention it as any. Okay. Then we have closed the DTD, then followed by the values what you wanted to store in the XML that we have given here. Notice the root tag you can see here, and 2 is the child tag. I have taken some name for the 2, and from, I have taken some name for the from element, and heading I have mentioned it as a reminder, and body I have mentioned the content as don't forget to send mail. All are string data, so I have mentioned the type as parsed character data. And I hope you all know for every start tag there is an end tag. So I have closed the note. So note is the in XML you can have only one root element. Note is the root element. To, from, heading and body are the sub elements. Even for body also, if you want, you can have again sub elements, but root is going to be one, that is note. Okay, so this is what explained here. So this is how you define the internal DTD. Declaration part is same like internal DTD. What you can do is you can store it as a separate file. That is what we say it as external DTD. See here, this DTD part, that is element note, element 2 from heading and body are the elements we wanted to define. So all these definition part is written in a separate file and it is stored with an extension .dtd. So I have given the name note.dtd. This we say it as DTD file. This is externally we are writing it is a separate file. Okay. And this is the XML file. So now I am going to write the XML file. So XML version followed by, we are going to link the external DTD here for your program. So for that, you have to use doc type. Note is the file name of the external DTD. The root element of the external DTD. Note system is a keyword and this is the file name node.dtd. So here is where you link the external DTD file to your XML file followed by the content. Okay, whatever content you wanted to display. So this is how you explain a external DTD. Okay. So either you can give the definition part inside the XML itself, or what you can do is you can store it as a separate file and you can link the file name here. Okay. So this we have seen already, like whenever you wanted to declare the element, it is exclamatory mark, element name and category or maybe content. In the example, we have taken two parsed character data like this. From past character data. Say for example, you can also use any keyword any which can accept any content. Combination of parsable data also it can contain. And you can also have child elements. In the example, note has 4 child elements, 2 from heading and body, whereas from it is just going to accept a past character data. This is how you define the element. Apart from this, you can also have attributes declared for the elements. So for that, you have to use the keyword at list, attribute list. So this is the syntax. Look at the example here. At list, element name, attribute name, type, and value. So we have to specify what is the element, what is the attribute it can have, then type of the attribute and value for the attribute. This is one example I have taken for the element payment. Okay. I am taking an attribute called type. It can accept the character data and the value can be check. Okay. So this is what I have taken. And when I give an example in XML, the element name is payment, the attribute name is type, and the attribute value what I have given is check. Say for example, it can accept when I say price of an element, when I take an element price, I can take an attribute type and it can accept a value US dollar or Indian rupee like this. Okay. So you can also add attributes. These are all the different attributes type available with XML. It can be a character data, it can be a enumerated list, it can be a unique ID or ID reference, that is ID of another element, or ID value is a list of other IDs. Then maybe a valid XML name or a list of XML name can be an entity, can be a list of entity notation, predefined XML value. You can use any of this attribute types. Most probably we will be using character data or IDs we most of the time use. Okay. And the attribute values can be either you can specify some value. See, for example, here I have taken 0 as the value. Okay. Maybe 100, something like this. You can take some default value. And you can also mention that it is required. when you put hash required, when you declare the attribute list square with character data, and if you put hash required means it is mandatory to give the width of the square. You cannot leave that particular attribute. Okay. And when I give implied means that attribute is optional. Either you can give or you may not give. Say in case of a first name and last name, for the first name you can give it as required, and for the last name or middle name you can make it as optional, like that case. So then you can also have the attribute value as fixed, that is you cannot change that. So this is how you define a DTD. So either you can use internal DTD or you can use an external DTD. Element is the keyword that is used for creating the element. Then add for adding the attributes, it is add list. Okay. And for defining the DTD, it is doc type. Okay, this is few examples about at list. Thank you.